Hello friends, I am Dr. Rupali Endait, Department of Chemistry, Radhabekari Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Ahmednagar. And now, today we are going to see TYBSc course CH336E, that is Agriculture Chemistry. In that, firstly we see chapter number 1, that is Soil Chemistry. Now, go for the introductory part of the soil chemistry. Guys, today's progress in agriculture science and technology make it possible for our nation to achieve its current level of scientific and technological excellence and its high standard of living. And the great challenge facing to mankind is to produce basic necessities like food, feed, fibre and fuel. On the factors to meet these requirements to some extent is to improve the agricultural yield, and it can be done by bringing barren land under cultivation without any side effects. Barren land, that is the land which is deficient in nutrient. It is extremely important to use the available water and land properly and with the highest possible efficiency, considering the study of agricultural chemistry as a green concern. World's biggest, most important industry is the agriculture, which provides us almost all basic needs: food, clothing and shelter. That is nothing but roti, kapda or makan. Along with that, it also provides material used in making many industrial products such as medicine, paints and other mining chemicals. It is one of the oldest industry and an art of cultivating soil for the purpose of producing more abundantly crops that are necessary for the substance of a man and his domestic and domesticated animals. But guys, we know initially farming depends heavily on human and animal labor. All the activities of agricultural is done by using human and animal. Scientists have developed some tools to make their land as well as better, stronger varieties of plants, highly effective fertilizers, nutrients, and pesticides. All these improvements have greatly improved field efficiency. Numerous new crops have been introduced as well as existing crops have also been improved by selection and crossbreeding. Diseases of crops are also investigated and remedies for their control and eradication have been discovered. And guys, all these improvements have been possible due to the knowledge of chemistry. Therefore, chemistry plays a vital role in the development of agriculture. That's why we say agriculture chemistry. Now, then we focus us on role of agriculture chemistry. We know the agriculture chemistry or agrochemistry is that branch of science which deals with interaction of plants, soil and fertilizer. This agriculture chemistry is related to the cultivation of farm crop, the cycle of nutrients in agriculture, the application of fertilizer to improve the yields of crops, as well as to improve quality and quantity. Now, then we see objectives of agricultural chemistry. To study the cycle of nutrient is the first and most important objective of agricultural chemistry. To find way to influence the chemical processes occurring in the soil and plants to increase the yield of crops. Application of organic and chemical fertilizer is the most drastic way of altering the cycle. Agrochemistry as a science has been making extraordinary progress to fulfill the day-to-day needs of the man, and therefore this science has the unique importance because it helps to increase the productivity of farm crops through extensive use of fertilizers, micronutrients, pesticides, plant growth hormones, improvement in cultivation techniques, as well as advances in breeding and other sciences. In agriculture, practically no soil can sustain high crop yield from its own nutrient reserves indefinitely. Even most fertile soil also becomes deficient in nutrients due to taking one of the crop for the number of years. That's why farmers are doing or taking the crops alternatively. Such a type of nutrient deficiency is removed by the application of proper manures and fertilizers. Soil testing and study of its physical and chemical properties is the basis of agrochemistry. The application of fertilizers, manures, micronutrients, and pesticides helps in improving fertility of soil and yielding a better crop. Now then we see the scope and importance of agricultural chemistry. Three main objects of agricultural chemistry. Which are these three main objects? First one is plant, second one is the soil, and third one is fertilizer. Now, all these three parameters or three main objects of agricultural chemistry are interrelated to each other, and their interrelation is given by Russian scientist Pyrenichnikov, which is known as Pyrenichnikov triangle. Now see the triangle, what is agrochemistry, three parameters, soil, plant and fertilizers, and guys, soil and plant, these two objects are interrelated with each other, as well as plant and fertilizers are also show their interrelation, and soil and fertilizers are also interrelated with each other, and this interrelation is given by Russian scientist Pyrenichnikov. Therefore, this triangle is named as Pyrenichnikov triangle. Okay, go for further. The climate and all other factors must be taken into consideration in studying the interrelation between plants, soil, and fertilizer. Application of fertilizers increases the content of available nutrients in a soil. The chemical composition of the soil as well as its physical and other properties are also changed by the addition of fertilizers. Improvement of inorganic nutrition produces a favorable effect on photosynthesis and accelerate the growth of plants. Addition of fertilizers to the soil improves its texture and other physical properties. Due to this, the soil becomes more fertile. We know plant requires moisture, optimum temperature, nutrients, pH, light, irrigation and other conditions for adequate support for all its vital activities. But the actual effect on soil properties is produced by the organic matter resulting from decaying the root system and the decomposition of the crop as the residues left in the field after harvesting. Now, the addition of fertilizers in the soil changes ratio and amount of the nutrients present, reaction of the soil solution, composition of the absorbing complex, activities of microbiological processes. Now then, agriculture is most important enterprise in the world. Agriculture is a production plant where the free gifts of nature, such as land, water, air, soil energy, are used as inputs and then converted into a single primary unit, that is, crop plants. Those primary units are consumed by animals and are converted into secondary units like milk, meat, eggs, wool, honey, silk. These are the examples of secondary units. This agriculture provides employment. Agriculture has the contribution of 16% in the gross domestic product of the country. This sector also provides livelihood to two-thirds of the population, as well as this sector is responsible for the employment of 58% of country's workforce. Then we see contribution in country's export. This sector accounts for about 15% of the total export earnings and provides raw material to almost all the industries like textiles, silk, rice, rubber, paper, flour mills, milk products industries. Now, the important source of resource mobilization is as the people in rural areas are not very rich. It proves as one of the biggest markets for low-priced consumer goods. Better agriculture is the food security of the country. And if the agriculture sector of any country is strong, it acts as a wall in maintaining food security and in the process national security as well. Important allied sectors. There are many allied sectors of agriculture like horticulture, poultry, dairy and fisheries. They have a very important role in the development the rural masses, so there is a need for the balanced development of agriculture and allied sectors. Then we focuses on agricultural chemistry and other sciences. The fundamentals of agrochemistry include the theory of plant nutrition, the major agrochemical properties of a soil in the context of plant nutrition and interaction with fertilizers and properties of fertilizers are shown in the form of a nutrient cycle. Now then we see the nutrient cycle in agriculture. We know for agriculture soil is the base, and in this soil takes the nitrogen containing compounds from the atmosphere along with nitrogen fixation by bacteria as well as free living bacteria. From soil, losses due to denitrification, that nitrogen compound goes to the atmosphere. Now the plant also take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Soil provides the much nutrient to the plant and that plant goes up to the harvested stage. After the harvestation or a harvested crop, it is ready for sale. While remaining part of the crop, that is fodder and litter, are converted into liquid and solid manures. These are converted into compost or they directly used in the soil. Due to this solid and liquid manure preparation, there is losses of nutrient takes place due to its storage. The second part, green manures, roots and after harvesting residues are also goes towards the soil. Then the solid and liquid manure, when converted into the compost, municipal waste is also converted into the compost. Along with that, silt is converted into peat, and peat is either converted into compost or used in solid and liquid manure. It is also directly used in the soil. From the soil, some amount of nutrient also get leached during irrigation. This is the overall nutrient cycle in agriculture. Thus, agrochemistry is closely related to the physiology of plants, concerned with the function of green plants and the vital activities of plant organisms. Knowledge of plant organisms properties is important in the science of agrochemistry. Cultivation of plants and the desire to maximize their yields call for the perfect match between the requirements of plant organism and the cultivating conditions. Agrochemists resort to finding in such disciplines as the genetics and breeding of farm crops, agronomy, agricultural microbiology, and biochemistry. It is difficult to define boundaries between hydrochemistry and plant physiology and biochemistry of plants. Agricultural chemistry is to study soil chemistry, problematic soil, and soil testing. To take care of plants, good quality irrigation water, proper types of insecticides and pesticides used. Growth retarders and stimulators must be brought in line with amounts, selection, and application of fertilizers to increase the crop yield. One should not forget that environmental imbalance takes place due to excess use of pesticides, fertilizers, and water. Therefore, it is essential to have the knowledge of agronomy, agrochemistry, biochemistry, and microbiology. In general, we can say that agrochemistry is summation of chemical and biological sciences. Thank you.